Hi, I'm Llewellyn Falco and I'm an Agile technical coach. Now, a technical coach is a little bit different than a regular Agile coach. Agile coaches will work on Scrum, they'll work on stand-ups, they'll work on getting your backlog in order. That's not what I do at all. I sit with your programmers and we learn to program better. We learn to introduce unit tests, we learn to refactor, all of those things. And that helps to clarify a little bit what I do, but people still get really confused on what my day-to-day work looks like at a company. So I thought I would just share my calendar so you can get a clearer idea of what it looks like when somebody's actually working with your programmers. So this is my calendar. I usually start around 9 a.m. It will be a little bit different at different companies. And I sit with the first team. Now, the first team is just a team, right? We sit together and we mob together. The important thing is whatever that team is, that's going to be the same team that I sit with tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. Then all the teams will get together and we'll do a learning hour. And then we'll break for lunch and we'll talk about how I do my lunches. And then after lunch, we're going to sit with team 2 and then we're going to sit with team 3. And that's it. That's my entire day. Let's delve into that so we can see how each piece breaks down. And we'll start with mobbing with team 1. So as I said, it doesn't matter which team it is, but one team every day we're going to take the morning slot. And we are going to mob, which means we're going to sit together, usually in a conference room. Sometimes teams will have spaces set up near their cubicles or working areas, but usually we'll get like a conference room and we'll sit together and we will program together. And when we sit in this manner, we'll have one person at the keyboard. Now that person is not thinking. That's really important. We're not 5 people watching one person work. The person at the keyboard has the easiest job. They are just going to type. We will also have one person who's doing the navigation, right? They're going to be the person telling other people what to do. Right? And we're going to rotate this really quickly, but it's really important that every single person learns to do this because communicating your ideas about code through voice is not something that comes naturally to people. And then we are going to rotate very, very frequently, usually about every 4 minutes. We're going to have everyone stand up and switch jobs. And that's going to make this a much safer environment. It's going to make sure that everybody is involved. It's going to give everybody a chance. And it's going to give everybody multiple iterations to get to the keyboard, to get to the navigation, even in a single 2-hour period. And then finally, we are going to do a retrospective. So a lot of times we'll do these with sticky notes. We'll just have people write their observations and we'll put them up. But that is really important in experiential learning. And those improvements won't stick if we don't take a little bit of time to do the retrospective. Usually this is about a 5 to 10 minute activity. So that's mobbing. Let's talk about learning hour. In mobbing, we're working on the real code. And so it can be really hard to introduce some concepts. Maybe your code has a really long build time, and that's going to make TDD almost impossible to do. Or maybe we're not quite ready to do some infrastructure to try a new tool, or to try a new source control, or to try a new product. All of these can be really hard to do, right? And it might not be the right timing to do these things either, right? Like part of it is knowing what to do, but the other part is doing it at the right opportunity. Learning hour allows a space where we don't have to worry about any of that. We can go to artificial places, work on artificial problems to learn and increase our skill base. Now, what we do in learning hour won't actually turn into something useful until the future. And that future might be in a week, or it might be in 2 weeks, or it might be in a month, or it might be 6 months, or maybe some of the stuff we do in learning hour never turns into reality at all. And that's okay. This is part where we can do those kind of investments because the things that do turn into reality are going to be so powerful. And learning hour is across teams. So instead of sitting with a single team, we're going to be sitting with all of the people both programmers and testers and QA. We're going to learn things together. And we're making this time mandatory. It's not, hey, if you have extra time, if your work is done, come on over and learn. It's learning is important, and this is the time of the day that we set aside to do it, which is also why we don't do learning hour during lunch. We don't want it to be like, oh, you have to give up extra time to learn. Learning is an important part of getting better. It's an important part of how we do business. Often we see learning done in 8-hour chunks, 2 or 3 days at a time. And the problem with that is people just get tired. You learn stuff and then you forget you learned it before you even get to try it out. This gives us a little chance to practice and hone our craft every day. And then lunch occurs. Now you'll notice that lunch will overlap a little bit with mobbing with Team 2. And this is something that I usually bring up to Team 2 because it's an important part of what I do. Now, each day I'm going to have lunch, usually with a different person who I'm not actually working with in the mobs. They're going to be BAs, or they're going to be QA, or they're going to be managers. They're going to be people that are very close to the teams that I'm working with, people who are a big part of making software happen, but people that I don't get to sit and work with. And this is my time to grow those connections and open those channels of communication that are vital to the health of the company. It's weird because I don't really know what's going to happen. And a lot of times we go to lunch and we don't talk about work at all. We're just opening a communication channel. But it is also over and over that I see opportunities or insights come to me through these connections, where someone will tell me, hey, did you know that this team was struggling with this problem? Or the team downstairs at the mainframe, they've been getting interested in solving this issue. Or maybe you can go and talk with Barbara. I think that she's feeling like a little left out or a little struggle. And I would never get that information. I would never have that channel if I didn't have these lunches. They're actually so important to me that I kind of feel on the days that I eat by myself that I am just not working. So that's my day. I work with one team in the morning, one team in the afternoon, and one team in the late afternoon. And then I spend an hour with everybody learning, and I take one person out to lunch each day. That's a day in the life of an Agile coach. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in this kind of technical coaching, you can reach out to me directly to hire me through my blog, or you can take a look at some longer full-hour sessions that I've done at different conferences around either of those two sections of mob programming or learning hour. Because those are videoed through the conferences, the links are coming later. They haven't yet put them up. So I will put links to them in the notes in the video. Thanks again for watching, and have fun programming.